not only by us but by all the entrants to this festival, who can rest assured in the knowledge that their work is very seriously considered and discussed over many days and many long nights. So many thanks to the jury. So I'm now going to hand over to Mark Tutzel, the president of the jury. Mark.
Good morning. I can't wait for tonight. We are going to put a show on tonight. A really spectacular show which will, I think, ignite people's imagination and renew our love affair with film. Film on all screens. We saw 3,191 entries from around the world this year. We distilled those down to 362 and we gave 100 lions. 1 Grand Prix, 14 gold, 24 silver and 61 bronze. But the golds really, I think, point to the future, because each one of the 14 golds that we gave were unanimous. The jury, who were amazing, professional, intelligent, the debate was really rich, and we really uncovered the stuff that we were looking for. My brief was very simple. I needed to curate a reel of film on all screens that will really refresh, reinvigorate and ignite this industry. And it was wonderful. Once we arrived at the work that made gold, it was all hands up. So there was mass consensus on everything that we awarded a gold. And if you look at the depth and the breadth of that work and the approach to communication, using film as the medium, it's incredible. And there's so much to be learned from this. There's so many ways. They gave us a glimpse of the future, where the industry is going, where we currently are right now, and how we can amplify that and do that in a different way. So it was pretty cool. In terms of the work, of the 12 golds, it really did come down to 3. And we distilled it down to 3 very quickly. And then the debate began, because there was huge merit in each one of the cases. I mean, each of those 3 were brilliant. They were Johnnie Walker, Old Spice, and Replay. Each one approaching it in a different way, each one rich in execution and giving us really a compass point to where the industry could go. In terms of the eventual winner, the Grand Prix, it was very simple. It was the perfect film. You know, it took an old sleeping brand and woke it up. It took Old Spice from being this old, out-of-date brand to new, modern, infectious, a brand that overnight wove its way into popular culture. A brand that really was a game changer for the brand, and more importantly, for a big brand, for a major iconic brand. Overnight, you just realize the power of creativity to transform behavior and the power of creativity to ignite, or in this case, reignite a sleeping giant. It was also the year of men. Played a big part. The man your man could smell like, the eventual winner. The man who walked around the world. And Replay was a rematch between 2 rival teams of football religious men. So men were the theme of the year. Also, it was a year of one takes. If you look at the brilliant 6-minute one take for Johnnie Walker, narrated beautifully by Robert Carlyle, capturing the story of the brand in a fresh new way. Really, you hang on every single word and you watch every single second. And it's a journey through the brand, through the story of the brand, from the past to the present and into the future. It was a beautifully crafted piece. And also, storytelling was at the heart of it. If storytelling was the order of the day, if you look at the storytelling in Replay, you look at the storytelling in Johnnie Walker, it was of the highest order. And again, you know, it's the ability to tell stories, you know, to create moving pictures that have the ability to move people are second to none. Replay was really where the industry is going. You know, you just got hooked on the story. It was such an interesting storyline that you couldn't help yourself being immersed in it, being drawn to it, being attracted to it in a fresh new way. And also, in terms of the way that they did it, it's really pushing the industry forward, you know, to social movement, and it united people and around an idea, invited participation in that brand. And it, again, masterful storytelling, you know, emotional content, and really where the brand sat at the heartbeat of the story. You know, it's inextricably into the storyline. It's both volumes of the brand, but in a new way. And I think it opens up our industry to new ways of connecting with people and finding branding content that really is about the future. Overall, the work was fantastic, and if you look again, I say through the goal lines, you will see huge compass points for the industry. You will see evidence of brilliant filmmaking, and I think work that more importantly inspires. And for me, Cannes is not an award show. Cannes is a hotbed of creativity. It's an incubator for new ideas. It's a springboard to tomorrow's world. We're here to learn, we're here to be educated, we're here to celebrate creativity and showcase and acknowledge the best work for this calendar year. But it's really about being future-facing and category-defying. And if you look at the work for Old Spice, it was future-facing, it was category-defying, it did capture the imagination of the world. You know, this started life in North America, and now it's known the world over. And ultimately, I'm on a Horse has become part of humankind's vernacular. So,
great. Thank you, Mark. Over to questions. Who's got the first question? Actually, why don't we share the background?
Share the work. Yeah.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat. The man, your man, could smell it. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Okay, questions? Don't be shy.
No sé si ha dicho que era unánime o ha dicho algo de eso, si era unánime.
Hi, I'm from Exchange for Media in India, and I'm going to take advantage of the fact that the jury president also had seen all the print entries, and you mentioned then that this was the year of print, a renaissance of sorts. And you're obviously extremely happy with the work in film as well. But if you had to draw a comparison on the kind of creativity that was seen, or the creative attention seen in both categories, what would be some observations? And I'm hoping somebody can speak a bit about the work from India, the Silver Line.
well, let's have it over.
Not here anymore. On the way back to India.
Se ha ido, joder. En India se ha ido, que quería saber.
Obviously, we're here to find brilliant ideas. And the common denominator is always ideas. We're an ideas industry. We always have been, we always will be. And technology now serves us in different ways. It opens up an infinite canvas to connect to people, connect with people. But ideas drive communication. Big brand platform ideas that have the ability to be amplified in different ways. So we were looking for those big game-changing ideas in print, in every single channel we operate in. If there was one other common denominator, it was the craft that we apply now. People's expectation of communication is extremely high, and our work has to be rooted in a beautiful human purpose. It has to be amplified in a rich way, but it has to be crafted to perfection, absolutely to perfection. Every T crossed, every I dotted. And if you look at the winning work, it was perfect. The Grand Prix is perfect.
I know that was well summed up, but there must be some more questions.
can you invite the jury to take part in this, because there are a lot of very intelligent people here with opinions, and I'm sure they would like to express their thoughts as well, and I want them to be part of this, because we are a jury, we are a team.
Okay, Sally from Circo. I could ask what every jury had last night, you know, party and whatever, but I will stick with the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix last year is from the internet category, and this show seems to be a very sort of classic commercial film. And how's the internet film, internet category like this year?
Incredibly strong. I mean, I think if you look at Gatorade, if you look at Johnny Walker, you know, both live there. But I think coming back to the classic commercial, I think if you look along the spectrum, if Old Spice is there as a classic commercial that wove its way into popular culture that way, this end of the spectrum is Replay, which is a signpost for the future, and Johnny Walker in the middle is almost straddling those two worlds. You know, it's an iconic brand that started life on television. The keep walking, progressive spirit of the brand is captured in their brand story, but it lives in a different space. So I think, you know, the three pieces that it came down to, there's really the line that we're looking to, something that lives in tomorrow and is a signpost of the future, and the way the industry is going. And the other, right back at the beginning, is you know, it's been updated and reignited for an online world. You know, it lives online. It finds its way, it weaves its way into that world. But it starts its life as a brand idea. And this is not making a statement about, you know, it's all about TV commercials and the focus on that. We didn't set out to do that. We set out to find the best piece of work. It was the best piece of work that was a brand idea that really served the brand and really took the brand to a new level through filmmaking. And the Old Spice lives everywhere. And I think we're living in the screen age, and then in a moment in time, that can spread. The infectious nature of a great idea finds its way onto all screens in all shapes and sizes to the four corners of the world. So in the branded section, the B section, there was a lot of work, and we were looking for, you know, work designed for the internet films that were designed to live there. We were looking for other screens, a brilliant amplification, using screens in a different way, and we found work in that area. We were looking for integrated campaigns, not matching luggage. We were looking for a higher level of integration, an idea that grew and flourished in different channels in different ways, so the sum of its parts became greater. And then finally, we were looking for work that invited people into the brand, had an interactive experience. So all of the four categories in the B section, we found brilliant examples of work that's taken full advantage of those screens, and more importantly, connecting to people with a meaningful human purpose, and work that ignites the imagination, and more importantly, work that rewards people. All of this work rewards the viewer. All of this work bears repeated viewing. Work you want to watch again and again and again and again and again and again. That's the hallmarks of brilliant filmmaking. And I'd argue that all 14 of the golds that we awarded will be watched again and again and again and again and again and again. That's why every single person on this jury put their hand up in a nanosecond. In a nanosecond. And I think we've curated a body of work, a showreel of work that's second to none. I think this has been a remarkable year for filmmaking. On all screens, all shapes and sizes, and totally different ways of communicating tomorrow's world, today's world, in between, and what's down the road. But ultimately, we were looking for ideas.
Hi, Barbara Lippert from Adweek in New York. I was just wondering, Mark, if you could talk a little bit about the Vonage work and the three golds and why that was chosen.
I thought, well, I'll talk about it, and I'll invite other people to talk about it. It was incredibly fresh. It was graphically, I think, hugely arresting. It had a simple message, and it was highly entertaining and engaging, and it gave the brand a personality. and it carved out something in a category that has a style, a look, a feel, and it stood out because it captured your imagination in a fresh new way, and had such a simple device to tell all sorts of stories in a fresh, new, engaging fashion. I mean, it was visual drama that really imparted the message in a new way.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
What I liked about this jury and about the pieces of work that we've been discussing right now, the Grand Prix and the Vonage work, but all the other line winners as well. Obviously, we are all creatives and looking for the most new and refreshing creative work. But we all agreed that apart from that, all the work that won medals here is really, really, really strong advertising and really helped clients and brands further. So it's not only a creative showcase. Obviously, that's the most important thing. But we are looking at truly, truly great advertising pieces as well. And that's what I really like about working with these guys.
I think the other thing about the Vonage work was it's an incredibly tough category to do great work in. And it was so visually stunning the minute you see those two people, their heads together, and the simple communication of a clear message, a clear signal on the cell phone is really a genius execution. And it's just, and again, I think the most important thing about this gold list is there's 21 jurors, and every time any one of these 14 ads came up, at the very minimum, 18 of the 21 jurors agreed that that was gold. And anything below that wasn't even close. It really is, the golds were golds, and the rest were not golds. And it was amazing to me that you have 21 people from 21, well, I don't know how many countries are represented here, but 21 people from all over the world. And all of us agreed on what the best work in the world was. And I think that's really special.
Laura Seacrest from Australian. There are two Australian golds, Regulars and Monkey. Could someone talk about why, what was good about those?
Monkey was a beautiful music video that really drove to a message and it put global warming on the map in a fresh new way, in a very modern way. Incredible, exquisite production values, really interesting storyline. You stayed with the messaging right to the very end. And when the monkey returned to Earth 65 years later and landed on the planet, they shot in Chernobyl. And you look at Chernobyl and you look at what we did to the planet. And that emotional connection, that ability through moving pictures to move people and to impart its message in such a dramatic, riveting, powerful fashion was wonderful. And this is not a planet any longer, this is our home. So it inextricably linked the World Wildlife Federation to the subject matter in such a dramatic way, and I think the use of music and really not hijacking music and music videos and grafting a brand onto it. The music video and the storyline served the brand in such a powerful fashion. And when you think of charity advertising and public service advertising and the nature of that, I think it was fresh and breakthrough, and it was beloved by the jury, and one of the best pieces.
I would say that piece, had it not been public service, would have been in contention for the big prize. I mean, that's an absolutely gorgeous piece, and I think the other really special thing about that is it's a new way to communicate to the audience you're trying to talk to. If you put a television commercial on, sometimes that's not going to get cut through, particularly the young audience. You put a message and you bake it inside a music video. These people fall in love with the video, and before they even know it, they're not thinking about advertising. They're watching it, and the message is being communicated in such a beautiful way. It's a very special film.
And also the work for VB, for but Bosphorus, I mean, you know, a country who like their beer. Men who like their beer. Fantastic writing. Fantastic writing. You know, I mean, every crafted to perfection, captured the humour and the mindset of a nation, and this iconic national brand, this beloved brand of the people, for the people, you know, told by the people from all parts of the, you know, all parts of the country, just done in the most incredible fashion. And when you think of the beer category, this is breakthrough work yet again. It wasn't three guys in a pub and a sponsored gag. This was a celebration of a brand, the people's beer. And ultimately, that's what brands want to be. Advertising agencies and clients don't create iconic brands, people do. And I think this is a classic example of that. And the one thing for me that stood right at the very top was the ability to tell stories through brilliant writing. It's fantastic work.
Hi, I'm Angel Guerrero from the Philippines. I was just looking at the winners list, and there are only 3 from Asia. One from India, one from Japan, and one from Thailand. I think this is our leanest year to date, so I just wondered if you have any insights on how Asia is doing in film, and why they're not winning lions.
¿Cómo está haciendo Asia? Porque tiene pocos premios, o leones.
Okay. I think we have less work entering in, not so much like last year, and I think we, from what all the work I see now, I think we can develop our work in many ways. Like for the strategic, we can develop on like work on the product first. Like for example, get the rate, then find a new way to sell the product like to the older people. So I think that's the part that we can work on. So we have the better work in like deeper, and I think we can work more on the fun yet still doing that, and then explore in another way so we can win more. Is for my opinion.
If you look across the body of work that won gold, you know, it was pretty representative of the best thinking and the best creativity in filmmaking around the world. Obviously North America represented, Latin America represented, Australia in Asia Pac was represented, Africa represented, and Western Europe represented. So, you know, it came from around the world. So it's not, again, there's no story in particular countries. It was one year where everybody took part in it. So, I mean, and so, you know, India, Asia, yes, but they were in the game.
Hello. For me, I also, when I think of Asia, I also include Australia, New Zealand, and then I think when you add that to the equation, I think it was a good year, and I think, you know, if we look in craft as well. I think Asia will do incredibly well. So I think to not exclude other parts of Asia and to look at it as the whole that it is, I think Asia's done very well this year.
And also, if you look down the silvers, I mean, look at countries there. To see Egypt is a remarkable achievement for the Middle East and Africa. And Korea.
Mara Fernandez from Broadway US Hispanic Market. Can you talk about a little bit of Crying from Soniero Sachi and Sachi?
Gold. You talk about gold. Yeah.
Hello. Working?
Yeah, it's working. Hello. So you're talking about the crane commercial, right, from Argentina?
No, actually it's US.
US.
New York.
Yeah, well, from Argentina Film Festival. The thing that really, yeah, well, no, the thing that really strikes us was that if you see in which company is staying at the moment is really the top commercial of this year. And the reason why we award the Gold Lion to this commercial, and if I remember well, I think it was a unanimous decision, is that category was really full of things, many very good work. This one stands out because even if it's a stronger insight about the fact that, I mean, when you see it the first time, you love it, you laugh, and it's the first reaction. But you have to think that when we awarded for a gold, it wasn't the first time you saw it, because we've seen it like first time the pre-screening, then first session, then the third session. So if one of that commercial, that kind of explosive effect, keep working on the third, on the fourth round that you do it, that you see it, means that it's really good. And then the other thing is that it was so fresh and so different, so kind of a shared element, because girls loved it. People from, no, it's true, we were talking about football, but girls loved it. People from each country, even where football wasn't such an important and deep matter like it is for my country, for example, or for Argentinian people, loved it. So when something gets so strong to the end, it means that it's a goal to me and to everybody else. Okay?
And also, if you look at the mixture of work with the 14 goals, if you look at the screens and the content, you know, there's a variety, there's a depth, there's a real breadth to it. It's neither one or the other. It's an and world. You know, it's a screen plus screen plus screen plus screen. And so, nestling amongst those lines are everything that we need to learn and be inspired by in this industry. And as you said before, it's an incubator. And so we just need to hatch these new ways of thinking, just to challenge ourselves, to challenge the status quo, to be category defined and push it to the next level. But the biggest point of big brands embracing creativity and the power of creativity. If you walk on the Croisette and you see many iconic clients, clients of iconic brands, they're here to be inspired, they're here to learn. Everybody now knows that the primary asset of communication is creativity.
Okay, we've got one here.
Do you think that Allspice has the same or similar or upper that level that was up during the independent Night to Love, etc.?
I think anything that becomes a sort of cultural phenomenon is pop cultural phenomenon is it has the same qualities that certainly has captured the imagination of the planet. Andy was telling me that I'm on a horse has become part of the vernacular in Australia. So it's found its way into humankind, into life. And so yes, it has a similar trend. But I think this is much richer, because if you think of Cadbury was a game-changing idea, really looking at a purpose-driven communication strategy of really amplifying, creating joy, and not selling chocolate through a meaningful human purpose. And I think this has, again, a different way of approaching it. But the thing that I like, over and above it being brilliant, it's done a brilliant brand job. It's woken up an old brand and renewed it, refreshed it, recharged it, and ignited it into society in a fresh way. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the people are the best media directors in the world. And they are doing their job extremely well. So there's anything that captures the imagination of the world and can become part of vernacular. But it's not only talk and buzz, it's actually doing a very, very good job for the brand itself. So it's a very powerful fusion of both. And you have to have both these days to be incredibly successful.
Mariana Barbosa from Folha de São Paulo, Brazil. Brazil has won 56 Lions this year, but only one in film in silver. Why? Can you tell me about the quality of the entrance?
I'm glad with the question.
Okay, I'm glad with the question. I think it's a very important question. In Cannes, you deal with international language in terms of creativity. Things to get well done here, to get rewards and awards, has to have a special global tone of voice. And to be quite frank, the Brazilian commercials this year, and not only this year, I think from the last 4 years, we've been observing a curve, that is a descendant curve in film, while we see this curve playing the opposite direction in categories like press and outdoor, for instance. I think it's for us to pay attention to that, because I don't believe in a future in advertising if you don't have deep-rooted quality and creativity in film. I think the future of advertising depends on the film language for internet, for other screen like cell phones, for television, for brand content. So if you take a look at that, you're now in this room talking to the jury that I think is judging the tool that's the basis of everything that is going to happen in the future in terms of advertising or 360 degrees communication. If you don't master film language, you will not be in the future. And I think there's a warning to us in Brazil that we have to do better in film if you want to play a real, strong creative role in the future.
Hi, I'm Valentina from Magazine G7 from Argentina. And Mark, I was wondering if you could, now talking about the Argentina gold, I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about why you awarded Car1 with the gold. I'd like Juan Bravero maybe to say something about it, but I'd also like some global, both, if it's possible. Thank you.
Take the first one. Sorry, but my English terrible. I prefer to speak about this before or after the conference. I think the commercial of Car1 is brilliant, the idea is brilliant, incredible campaign, a very good and incredible successful in Argentina. Car1 is a very interesting and important client. It's the monopoly of the dealer of the cars used and used, and I think it's a very, very, very nice campaign. The jury think the same about this, and it's good. I don't know. It's okay?
There's 20, like I said earlier, there's 21 jurors, and I can tell you specifically on that ad, 21 of us said that's a gold lion. It was absolutely a hilarious ad that had a really, really visually striking and really hammered home the point that they were trying to make in a very funny and incredibly entertaining way. Again, for a category that isn't always the most exciting category to talk about it. I think the point of that is 21 jurors, 21 of them gave it a gold. So,
I think also, if you think of the subject matter in the category, it's a pretty dull category. Second-hand cars. And you think that the way that most people would approach that as a communication platform, the fact that they embrace film and use film and the ability to tell stories through film, the copywriting inheritance was fantastic. You know, it just had a lovely rhythm to it. It had moments, it had a beginning, middle, and end, and throughout, it was a product demonstration. So you showcased the portfolio of cars and a range of cars in the most visually arresting way, and it was held together by a story of human interest. And again, the ability to tell stories in fresh, new ways. And it held it, that was the glue that connected to people in a new way. And the same for Blackberries. Again, it's just a really interesting story. Over the wall, next door neighbour talking about something, and the car being front and centre, the drama, the visual drama rooted in the products and the range. And it was exquisite filmmaking. Thank you.
Obviously the world's trying to pull itself out of a global economic slowdown at the moment. Could the jury just talk about whether you think it had any impact on the quality of the work this year, either for good or for bad? Probably not for bad, given by a previous comment.
Yeah, I mean, in England, certainly, it's been a tough time through the recession. But I think what we've seen also is on Saturday night some of the biggest television audiences ever. So I think television advertising is still, absolutely important. I think making brands loved is still, you know, at centre to what we do. So I think the recession has made it tougher, but I still think what bubbles to the top is great work that captures emotions.
Well, I think what we can all be proud of in a way is that we all suffer from recession, but if you look at the work that is ended, we managed to maintain our fantastic creativity, and there's a lot of fun and a lot of enthusiasm in all the work. So a big hand for the advertising industry, I would say.
And also, I'd add to that, I've never thought that it's about money. It's about the power of an idea. And if you look at the best job in the world, last year, very small idea, again, had that wildfire effect. And to your point about wildfire brands, brands that are infectious, that really capture the public's imagination, they can begin life quite small and grow. And a lot of the work that we saw this year had a great simple idea at its heart. And really, what's interesting is it's forced the industry to think in a fresh new way. It's forced the industry to think out of the box. It's forced the industry to really look at itself in the way we communicate, because the money is not there, the opportunity is not there in abundance. So we have to find new ways of connecting to people and getting messaging out. And whether it be a flash mob for T-Mobile, you know, or a documentary film, you know, for over 4 months for Gatorade. There are loads of ideas out there that people are looking, searching out. And I think it's really opening up our mind and opening up more possibilities for communication, because we're being forced to think in a different way.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that, because that refers to the question that I got before. I really believe that tough times get the best out of people. It's not easy, it's not good to be in tough times, but as a creativity's got a benefit out of that, because you have to come up with, you know, new solutions, new way to look at things. On the other hand, good times are good, and when it comes to creativity, sometimes it's like makes us more comfortable, less daring, less, you know, in the search of new things, become more conservative. I'm talking creativity, of course, and that in our case explains a little. Is one, I think, item that adds to the reasons, because, for instance, Brazil is sitting comfortably, living a very good economic moment, but not living a very good creative moment. And I think that for creativity, bad is not that at all. I think that's good.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Talking about that, I personally think that the crisis, in a way, if you go through the work, help us a lot in the decision making, because all the work that are here are relevant for the brand and serve the brand in a really complete way. And it helped us to get through sometimes a great idea. They were really there, really strong, but they weren't the best idea you could do for helping the brand out. So I think that we gave another very important benchmark to keep in mind when we take our decision. Is this a great idea? Sure. Is this a great idea for this brand, in this category, in this moment? Sure. Then it's a great award for this festival. And that to me really give much more relevance to the work that is being awarded this year.
I think one other thing, that if you look down the list of clients, you know, big brands, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's, PepsiCo, Puma. There's a raft of really big, iconic clients, and that for me is joy, because now the big clients with the big budgets are really looking to the world of creativity for the answers, to connecting to people has never been easier. Connecting with people requires creativity and brilliant thinking, and I think, you know, it's a wonderful opportunity for them to do that.
Okay.
Is there another one?
Sorry. The other thing I was wondering was, probably a question for you, Mark. Around the world, where are the pockets of brilliance at the moment?
I think everywhere. Seriously, I really do. But if you start going, obviously when you go into Latin America, the powerhouse pillars of Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia, all producing world-class work. North America, still leading by example, doing really interesting work. Canada, doing fantastic work. The UK, I think we've seen a renaissance from the UK this year, and I'm pleased to see that they're back with a vengeance. I mean, they've had a successful Cannes, and really the expectation is incredibly high because of the rich history. Brilliant work from France, if you look at Canal Plus, great work from Germany, great work from Spain and Portugal. Wonderful to see Cairo winning and representing the Middle East and Africa. Fantastic to see South Africa taking part in this. India had an incredibly strong time. China are winning. Australia, New Zealand, punching way above their weight yet again. I mean, a remarkable performance by Australia. And Thailand, always surprise and delight. Japan, of course, really lead the way in digital thinking and new world thinking. So everybody's played a great part in this show, and this is an international show, and this is a barometer of the health of our industry, and it's the best of the best. And I think you see brilliant thinking, brilliant communication coming from every single part of the world. Everybody is represented here, and that's a joy to see.
There's one at the back. Sorry, can we go to the one at the back first? Because we have one already.
Hello, I'm Salvatore Segura from ABD Express, Italy. I just want to ask a question about category 21, that is financial and banking services, where Italy won a silver. But from what I see, no one gold line was given. I just want to know why.
Obviously, it's a very difficult category, and not really renowned for high creativity, a very rational communication. It's a category I think that can be mined in a fresh way. What we liked about ING was using the expert witness, using clients in a fresh new way. And what's brilliant about that campaign idea, and it's a much bigger idea than that commercial, is they've used actual clients as spokespeople for the brand. If you want to talk to an expert in the real world, let's unleash them into the real world. That comes with outdoor billboards where they have live clients on the billboard that you can interact and talk to. The clients attached to the side of the bus, weaving its way through a city in Milano, and the ability to connect with them in a fresh new way. And for an online bank, getting that type of messaging out there into the public domain was very, very fresh. It was excellent and really worthy of a silver lion, and it was the best thinking and the best creativity in a very difficult, rational category. But when you look at the goals, it was not good enough to be sitting alongside those goals. And as everybody has said a number of times now, it was unanimous, the goals were unanimous, and it didn't have that extra quality. And the value that we place in Cannes Lions, we're not giving out lions like confetti. They have real value, and they have to mean something. And those 12 lions are worthy of a prestigious Cannes Lion, and it's important to the agencies, it's really important to the clients, and more importantly, I think it's important to the industry. Because everyone in the industry and outside of the industry will be looking at all of the Gold Lion winning work across all categories and really studying them in minute detail to learn something from it. And this is about education and it's about inspiration. There happens to have an award show attached to it, but it's about work and it's about it being a barometer of the health of our industry and really opening our mind to the future of our industry.
One more question.
For José María Piera, what do you think about the Spanish score?
Not about football.
2-1.
Well, we won Chile 2-1. It was quite a good match. We have been a bit lucky in the beginning. Talking about Spain, Spain, regarding film category, has had much better times. That's clear. When I was named as a jury to come here, I was feeling totally envious of these people that had the chance to be juries in the late 80s, in the 90s, because you know the number of prizes that Spain is going to get. Now with 3, it's a good result for Spain. I think it's what we deserve. We don't deserve more. We have to improve a lot. In other categories, I think we are shining much more than in film. But I'm pretty happy with the result for my country. Nevertheless, I have never felt myself being as a representative of my country. Really, I have come here as a single person to be part of a group and to send a message to the industry. And that was all about. To be honest with myself, honest to myself and honest with the rest of the jury. And that's the attitude that I also find in the rest of the group. I was told about blogs and these cultural things against the other ones. Or I am very stupid, that can be, or I haven't seen nothing of that.
Let's vote. Okay. One more there.
Good morning. I'd like to ask to the jury, I'm Enrica Rodolo from Italian magazine Il Mondo. What's the state of the art of Italian creativity that you have judged in this edition? And do you think due to the big importance in Italy of mobile industry, the mobile telecoms, and considering that during this festival there's been a lot of talk about the mobile business, mobile advertising, do you think that Italy should have a leading role in the future of creativity in mobiles and telecoms? Thank you.
Obviously, smartphones are always 2 or 3 feet away from you 24 hours a day, and as a communication touch point, it offers a great opportunity for brands and the industry to connect to people. You see this rapid explosion in the world of smartphones, but they're more than both. They're human tools. They're really part of who you are and what you're about. You see this massive explosion now with BBM, with BlackBerry, the contagious nature of that as a portal. And I think to date, we've not really taken full advantage of that screen. And I think in the next 2 or 3 years, you'll see massive development and I think great creativity focused on the ability to connect with people in a fresh new way. But again, it's just one of many screens working together. But we didn't see fantastic work. We saw a lot of work on outdoor work, very interesting outdoor work, part of bigger campaigns, but the mobile section seemed to be a little deficient. But I can guarantee that within the next 2 or 3 years you will see some remarkable creativity there, because I think we just scratched the surface of that as a channel. But it's obviously, it's the primary screen in China, in Asia, and so it's an important screen to make sure that we fill with content that has the ability to capture people's imagination and move them in an interesting way.
Okay. All right, well, thank you all for all your questions, and thanks again to the jury. Thank you.